A shocking new statistic surrounding the American public. All right, friends, welcome to the channel. Always an honor and a privilege to be with you. I hope you're all doing great. So the American public apparently isn't looking too good right now as they try to keep up with their cost of living. It used to be inflation. Inflation was what we were concerned with. Well, now the cost of living is just swallowing people up and about to deliver yet another ugly byproduct. Today, we will also hear from our good friends over at Noble Gold, our channel partner. And this is a great company, I believe, has a lot to offer us in these times moving forward. More about them later in the show. But the realities are this, my friends. So what we're seeing now is it used to take approximately a third of your income on average to accomplish your housing needs, whether you're renting or you have a mortgage. Now it's requiring half. You got to spend half. And I don't know about you guys. I've reported on this, I believe, before, or touched on it at minimum. People are living on not only dual incomes to pull this off. Sometimes the kids now are chipping in and you're getting maybe even an extra job yourself. Like you're at work. My house, I remember my house in 2008. I used to say this about it all the time. You know, I got a little more bang for my buck, living about a half hour to 40 minutes away from my office at that time. And my house was nothing more than a transfer station. I felt like it was like all I do is when I'm home is clean the place or work on it. Like I never really got to enjoy the home. And that's what we're seeing out of a lot of Americans right now is most of them are commuting. And this whole bamboozle, we'll just call it for lack of a better choice of words, courtesy of the crisis and remote working, more and more people did that exact same thing for various reasons. Primarily, though, was quality of life, at least that what they thought would be quality of life. A lot of people moved to these different areas and realized their quality of life really didn't improve. But two, maybe more bang for their buck, and with their new remote work situation, they were able to somehow save what they thought was going to be save a little bit of money. But now, with the companies strategically doing layoffs in the form of telling their office they have to come back, or their employees they have to come back to the office 3 days a week. We're seeing how many can keep up with that, and that way we don't have to lay them off. They'll just quit, and we'll save a bunch of workmen's comp in the process. So we're seeing a lot of strategic layoffs kind of take place. But a quick break from the program to bring you today's video sponsor. I'd never suggest anybody do anything that I'm not doing or willing to do myself. I own gold, and I think you should as well. Let's hear from Noble Gold. The U.S. dollar has lost 85% of its value since the 70s when the dollar decoupled from gold, and the government seems bent on continuing the tradition. From now until after the elections, the government can print as much money as they want. The last time they did that, inflation went up 9%. Gold is the one asset that's proven to withstand inflation. Invest in gold with Noble Gold Investments. You'll also get a 24-karat quarter-ounce gold standard coin for free. Go to noblegoldinvestments.com or visit the link in the description of this video. All right, a big thank you to Noble Gold. Always be careful when investing. There's always going to be risk. Now let's get back to the show. But the alarming part now is a lot of the housing bubble really led the charge. And that's really my biggest warning. Even as a real estate guy, somebody who works in real estate, owns, operates real estate, will take a hit in the next downturn with real estate. That's why I always try to help you guys understand, does the property pencil out? Treat it as an investor, even if it's just your primary home. My job is to create just safety, really. I don't want to get a call in the middle of the night, Scott, we're losing the home. And I was just trying to act like the biggest real estate agent in town, bragging on social media how I got my clients the 20 offers all over asking. I just think that was pathetic and pitiful. Personally, I just don't see how anybody can grandstand. But, most salespeople are very self-serving. And I used to swim in that pond myself. Now, not so much. But the realities are this. Moving forward, what we have to understand is the American public cannot keep up with this anymore. They are in big trouble, and most of them got underneath astronomical payments, even with a low interest rate. That didn't save them. They went and bought at the peak of a housing bubble. Now it becomes the million-dollar question, can it sustain itself? Some of us have become numb to it as we're just out there trying to contend with whatever else needs to be contended with in this post-crisis climate. Insanity. But, like I've always said, this is just one news event away. As soon as mainstream media gets hold of the right or wrong narrative, depending on how you're looking at it, It's a race to the bottom. And, I believe we're going to crash these markets. I just believe we might crash them so heavily, like a depressionary level, where it's going to require leadership to overreach and now come in and issue bailouts that will basically change the climate of the future. And speaking of climate, like I've seen some wacky things. I think I saw recently on the news where they want to control the weather patterns by blocking out the sun somehow with like aerosols or something, because we got to stop this whole global warming thing and this and that. I don't know. I think we're working backwards and fighting the wrong fights, guaranteed. But what I really see playing out is like basically a bailout era is probably going to be needed, and I don't think that is going to be the answer. I believe personally the answer is to let the biggest asset class in the world, the U.S. housing market, do again what it's done before, as it's exhibited now more volatile behavior than the previous biggest crash ever witnessed in history. This one's outpacing '08. That's scary. Chances are it's going to crash. I think the upheaval because of the homeless population will completely spike, and people aren't going to get on board with that. We've seen during the crisis a lot of these politically charged or even socially charged narratives just create a lot of byproducts that have become borderline dangerous. And I think, we're going to see some things potentially be ushered in. I'm choosing my words carefully, so read between the lines and look between the cracks and use your imagination on exactly what I'm saying, because I want to make sure that, I have to stay within the lane here because of the type of reporting that we're doing. So I do my best to be as politically correct, or at least within those boundaries as possible. But the realities are when half of your income now is going, and I get it, like where I live, the $1 Million District, I was using half of my income, even more than half in the last real estate bubble. So I know many of you are in this real estate bubble. Now in this one, I played it safe. I insulated myself. I live below my means. I love that. If you want to know how to stay out of debt, don't spend more money than you make. It's simple. Unfortunately, that's not what society tells us we should do. We need to measure our insides by other people's outsides, then go finance the illusion of wealth. Unfortunately, that's not ending well for a lot of people. And because of the wealth effect and stimulus, it got ridiculous. In final thoughts, I come to you as a friend, as a content creator, somebody who wants to see you not only win in real estate, win in life. Understand the biggest artificially created housing bubble ever produced in world history will have blowback. Now it becomes at what degree? When you see Americans now spending over half of their income just to keep a roof over their head, whether it's a mortgage or rental, that spells disaster, my friends, and we're not even in official recession yet. Can you imagine when we're in actual official recession? We're going to have one. It's no longer if or when. You get to decide now. Will they use that to come in and do some kind of bailout that will be basically leadership overreach and change the fabric of our society and our country moving forward? My hope is that we let the markets crash and then learn from those mistakes, do things differently. Some areas will get out of it with the correction, recession, some with the depression. A lot of people will learn important lessons. They won't regret it if they learn from it. If they don't, they're just going to continue to do the same thing over and over, which is the definition, expecting a different result, which is the definition of insanity. Our job is to continue to raise awareness, ring the bell, sound the alarm, and protect as many people as possible so they understand the waters we're now swimming in, friends. This is getting pretty serious. Unfortunately, I always say just because you have your masks off, it's not all rainbows and sunshine quite yet. I wouldn't let this one out of your rear view mirror. I know most of you here haven't. You understand exactly what's going on. And because of that, I'm going to continue to blow the lid off it every step of the way, because it's not only what we need, it's in fact what we deserve. If you appreciate the content, I want to humbly ask you to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. Social media links in the description of this video if you'd like to contact me there, along with links to channels I've appeared on I think you might enjoy. If you need help buying or selling real estate here in America, the biggest network of top-rated agents in the nation ready to assist you, it'd be our honor and our privilege to do so. Email in the description for you as well. Also, if you're watching from your television set today and you enjoyed this video, I think you're going to love the next video on your screen. And there's an easy subscribe icon for your convenience. As always, thank you for your time. Please go make it count. I'll see you on the next video.